Water. It is the single most important driving force in nature and the source for all life on Earth. It is the essence behind the beauty that surrounds us and the most critical resource for human existence. Everything around us is dependent on it for its existence. We live in a fast-paced, preoccupied society and often become so consumed by its demands in our everyday life that we forget our dependence on it and choose to neglect the ever-pressing issue of its growing scarcity. We depend on it to maintain our comfortable lifestyles. We use it for our homes. We use it for our cars. We continuously use it irresponsibly to keep our gardens looking nice and green. Even our fridges now provide us with easy water access to keep us hydrated. San Diegans are accustomed to easy water access, with the average household consuming 119 gallons per day. The city of San Diego alone has 9 major reservoirs, 25,000 fire hydrants, and over 3,300 miles of distribution pipelines. We were curious to see whether the water situation is the same in other parts of the world. We decided to talk to some local refugees from the Middle East to hear what they had to say. The first woman we talked to is a refugee who now runs a nonprofit that helps refugees with issues of domestic abuse. Her country of origin is Iraq and has been in San Diego for 16 years. Here's what she and other refugees had to say.
That's a good question. So, here you have to pay for it, and it's easy. In Iraq, you don't have it that much, especially lately, and it's free. You don't pay for it. Okay. Once the city will open the water, people use it with no responsibility because they don't pay for it. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, in Iraq, the water is so clean. You drink it from the, what do you call it?
The well?
Oh. Yes, you drink it from right away. It's so clean and it's ready to drink. Yeah. Here we use a lot of water. Look at the bottle, which is a shame for me, but they did not provide us with water, with a fountain or something that we can use. But it's shame, yeah, in this country. We use a lot of water and we waste a lot of things from the nature. We do. Not everybody, if they understand, yes. Like we have a president, he doesn't understand what's science, what's environment. You just make yes, if you go deep about it, of course. Of course.
أفضل مو يعني
الشرب على الماء هنا أسهل لو
in Syria.
In Syria أسهل. Said you not buy water for drinking. They just tap water for drinking.
Maybe every people know the water in Syria, in Damascus, Fiji.
Oh, really?
The name Fiji.
Oh,
it's
wow.
very cold and very good. Like here, I bought a water like this water.
Oh.
It's very good. More water?
Who uses water?
In Syria.
In Syria?
Because I have a garden.
Oh, okay.
And for cleaner the house here, just for drink.
Okay.
And sometimes because different in Syria. In Syria, not like the wood, like ceramic.
Ceramic.
Like ceramic,
Okay.
yeah. Washing, a lot in the village.
Oh, okay.
But in city, it's small, not like village.
Oh, okay. So you say in the village there's more water?
Yeah, like me, I have house in city and house in village.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. يعني إنه بيختلف.
أكو اختلاف بين المية هنا والمية هناك.
Of course, yeah. A lot. And in Syria I have the water كبريت water حمام ماء كبريتي للعلاج الأقدام للشغلات كتير كويس كمان.
You know, there's some kind of sulfate water. They use it for skin treatment.
Oh, sulfate?
They use it. They have such kind of water.
Oh, okay.
نحن عنا المي كنا نشربه ما نشتري، يعني ما لا سياسة ولا يأثر، بس هون نشتري على جبل. المي عندهم نظيف بس لا مو نظيف، فأظن لا هون لأنه ميتهم مو نظيفة، محتاجة إنه لفلتر ولا يعني مي جاهزة.
She thinks that the water doesn't affect politics in her country because they don't pay for water. Just they use it but here.
But here I didn't know. I think no, because the water here not good. They want like filter color. What do you say in English? I didn't know. Yeah, I think no.
Here very easier. I know that cost the owner too much, but I can't easier in than my country. It's my country very hard because that sometimes stop to give us the water for many reasons. They say notice maybe in TV or radio, be careful tomorrow because Baghdad divided into places, Risafa and Kar. Risafa get a little water than that. So they give the people notice in the night, be careful tomorrow, you need to put as water in a big jug for need to that about 2 days. But they really stay more than 2 days, stay maybe 1 week without water. Now my sister in Iraq, she don't have any water. The water stopped before 2 days, until now she don't have it. She have a family, it's very hard for them. And the government, some people who work within the government say that different reason because we want to put something in the water, make it that more clear. But that's not for people because we have 2 rivers in Baghdad, but they don't have to use it very well. And all that pipe they use it for water is very old. They need to fix always, but you know that what's happening in Iraq now, that make it is very hard. So the people you can see also in the TV that the people put the water in the jug and hold it. So they make them very hard, or they must keep it in a big places or a big jug that about 500 gallons. Because they need it for to make the place is very cold. That we are very hard the life in Iraq. Any person can ask them, they say no, the water is very hard. If the people live in a building that their apartment is too high, they need a big pipe on it, a big places they could keep this water. That's not good. This is not worse or better, because here when you are taste the water, you can different what you are make it. Always you take this water when you are in your home. Here you can taste it because they put as a chlorine maybe too much. When you taste it, it's different. So that the people now everywhere ask them, they say, we go to the machine and bring this water. I ask here a lady come from the university, what is the difference? That I take it from this machine, from this street, and this has come to my home. She says, no different, the same water. But is the water here come because the people taste it because the chlorine is different.
Yeah.
But here is not good for when you take the machine and you will pay it for it. It's not good, but it's the same water. If you ask me, I say I go to the machine and they bring for me a big bottle. Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't know why. Because I see the people, I don't know. Believe me, I
Yeah.
look there. But when I taste it, it's very different. No, not clean in Iraq. But is more get good in when you are tasted. Yeah, because there we have, I say for you, we have 2 rivers in Iraq, Tigris and Euphrates. If you can make search in your cell phone that you are find it, it's very good river. So they taste it here, maybe the water in the United States maybe contact more salt. But in my country, is a good river, a good water is very clear. That a good sweet different. Maybe here the water come from the ocean, that use it more chlorine. But in Iraq, that they come from the mountains, that they make it is a good taste.
So
Yeah, this is the difference, but not clear, believe me.
So it's
Because
less
when
fun.
I have a special machine in my home before in the past that make it for me clear that we can drink it. But when I come to machine, I look it, so I find it the space that from cotton Also, continuous something is not good. No, I hear use more here.
More water
Yeah, because so every day, how many times I get shower? Maybe 2 times. Not for me, also for my kids. It's the same. We are a big family, 6 person. So also we can't go to the restaurant to get our food. We need to make it in our home. Everything we use it here, water more than in our country. When you need take shower in our country, be careful in the jug. That is upstairs in the roof in our home. Check, we have enough money. You must go before take shower, take. Be careful, you will have enough money to take your shower. Here, no. I can find the pool too much. And we also the family. My complex about 30 families. If you count the numbers, too much. That costs too much. I can't see it. Different completely in my country. And also all of that come easy for us. We don't use that, we say about just like a motor to bring the water. No, here it's very easy. Different completely. I know that everything here costs the money. Different in the third countries, believe me.
So
Yeah, no, also it costs you money, nothing free. But the way you will get the money is different. In Iraq, if you need to just only take the water from the pipe, yeah, you will get a little money. You can see the people in the street and maybe make search in the TV, please, if you want that, in the website, and look at the people in the street, they can get a little water to make there enough for they just only day. So when I wake up here in the morning and I find the water, I'm living in the second floor. Not first elevator, the second. So I got the water come easy. I open the sink, I have water. I take in the morning my shower. Even my kids, the same thing. When they come, Mom, we need water. Okay, you can take it. But in Iraq, no. We bring mass to our home, both small bottle or big bottle that stay with the family for a few days. And we have here, we don't hear from the TV, you have a notice, be careful tomorrow will the water start. I can't find it. It's different quality. And here easier more. The water is the main resource for the humanity. If you ask any refugee here, can you back to your country? He says, sorry, I can't. Here, everything you can get it easy. I know the job here is very hard, but everything you can find it in your apartment. You have electricity, you have water, everything got to your, without asking. Please bring something with you when you come back to your home. We don't need that. When my husband or me need anything, I can find it for me, everything. I can find it. It's very easier. Just only thinking about my job is very good for me.
And doesn't let lot of water come from Turkey to Iraq and Syria, because two rivers, Tigris and their source in Turkey, not in Iraq or Syria. Just they pass through Syria and Iraq. So it's a big issue. Maybe next time it will be war on water. Maybe next few years.
Oh, okay. So they have like they could block the access to the water.
No, not blocked 100%, but year by year, they let less water pass for two countries, Iraq and Syria. These dams, not one dam, maybe about 10 dams installed near the sources of two rivers.
Hearing what this refugee had to say about the dams in Turkey, we decided to research the issue to get a better understanding. The Tigris and Euphrates rivers, which flow through both Syria and Iraq, have experienced drastic reductions in water flows in recent years, primarily due to Turkish hydroengineering and regional droughts. This has significantly affected Iraq, which has historically prospered because of rich agricultural harvests based on water supplies sourced from the two rivers. Turkish initiatives aimed at massively expanding their exploitation of water from the two rivers have coincided with severe droughts in the region and resulted in an increasing water shortage crisis in Iraq and Syria. This can lead to an environmental catastrophe in the region. In Syria, the Islamic State, which controlled territory along Syria's major rivers, used water to both harm and control communities. They have also closed dams in Iraq and Syria in a more severe manner than Turkey. Political negotiations between Turkey, Syria, and Iraq have fallen short of reaching agreements on providing increases in water flow to sustain the three countries. Unfortunately, the unprecedented number of refugees we are seeing today does not compare to the number of refugees we will see over the next few decades because of climate change. Unlike current refugees, who are a result of fragile states and civil strife, future refugees will be a result of desertification and rising sea levels due to mankind's continued disregard for Mother Nature. We managed to get an interview with an SDSU alumni who now works for a local nonprofit aimed at helping refugees. Here's what she had to say about the state of refugees in San Diego.
My name is Brittany Ochira, and I work with Alliance for African Assistance. So I'm the advocacy coordinator, and so I help refugees with their gas and electric bills and their phone bills, cell phone and home phone, and basically when they're having an issue with the company where they've been unfairly charged or they got signed up for something because they don't speak English that they didn't actually want. I call the companies and I advocate on their behalf, and then I also help them find discount programs to save them money. I do talk about conservation sometimes. Really, in San Diego, there's no like discounts for water. They don't really have any like leeway for refugees. Like with SDG&E, there's some help that they provide for refugees, but with water, you really have to just pay it. So the one thing I do tell refugees is like talk about conservation and using less water. Because that's the only thing they can do. I mean, I work with refugees, some that have come from like a refugee camp, where the water they get is literally like pumped, from a borehole, and like they just have their tub of water. So obviously they had a lot less access. Then a lot of the refugees from Middle Eastern countries, they were living at their house before they came here instead of in a refugee camp. So they probably had a lot more access to water. So there's a really wide range. I do know that depending on where they came from, on which refugee country they lived in before they came here, because sometimes they'll go to 2 or 3 countries before they come to the U.S. Some of them have been trained in conservation things. Some of them they have an abundance mindset towards water and other resources, and they're not really thinking about it being, a desert and a drought in California. So there's a wide range. I did talk to some people a couple weeks ago. They lived in Turkey before they came here. They're from Syria, I believe, and in Turkey, I guess there was a whole initiative of talking about conservation, and so they all had they were teaching me what they learned in their refugee camp in Turkey. So yeah, there's a range, I'd say. I don't know if they are being educated. I think there's probably a really wide range of different orientations that different refugees are going to. I'm sure that some of them are in classes or ESL classes where they talk about the drought, but it's definitely not a set part of their required orientation that all refugees go through. So I wouldn't make the assumption that everyone knows about it. I would assume that probably a lot of them don't know about it and aren't really thinking about it unless they get their water bill. I think that refugees tend to be really interested in making a positive impact in the community that they resettle in. And I think that we do see refugees getting engaged in ways that people who grew up in America sometimes have, empathy towards these things, where like if you are so like happy to be like coming to a new country and like really want to get involved in the community, I think that you might have a little bit more of a tendency towards like making a positive action. I know that a lot of the refugee groups that I talk to, they're so like I do classes for refugee groups, and I do classes for people born in America and that are like more culturally American, and so there is a range, and I see a lot less apathy in the refugee groups. They want to soak in as much information as they can. They give suggestions for like, hey, what if we change this? This could be better, So I think that there's a lot of maybe untapped potential there. That I think there are some community organizations that do work with refugee groups and are getting them galvanized over certain causes. I haven't seen it with water, but I think it could happen. Yes, I think that the rise in water levels, like the desertification that's happening with climate change, all of these are probably right now more exacerbating existing issues. So where there was already maybe tension in the community, now there's added conflict about resources, and so you're seeing additional people getting caught up in the crosshairs of community level conflicts over resources. I think that you may be seeing increased, maybe lack of willingness to cooperate between countries if everyone's kind of hunkering down and trying to just take care of their own country, So we may be seeing more trends towards issues with refugees because of climate issues. I think we're seeing the beginnings of it now, but not on a massive scale like we probably will be in the next few decades. I think that, again, there's a really wide range. I know like people who came here as refugees that have been here for like 10 years and still don't speak English, or still only go to the one grocery store every day, that they are not integrated, and that's especially with the older populations, and I also see a lot of young people, because they go to schools that are pretty multicultural, that a lot of young people tend to be really fast with integration. So there is a range. I think that there's a lot of pressure on the forward resettlement agencies in San Diego to do that integrating, and really, in my opinion, I think that that's probably the wrong place to put that emphasis for integration, because the resettlement agencies are really only resourced to do like the basics of resettlement. I think the long-term work of getting refugees involved in their communities should really fall to San Diegans in general, community-based organizations, more ethnic-based organizations. I try to encourage just friends and people at my church to mentor refugee families and just make a friend with one refugee family. That's something that I personally do. I have a refugee family that I visit weekly, and I just try to take them out and do San Diego stuff. And that's been like my message, especially this last year, as there's been so much, concern over refugee issues in San Diego. I'm trying to tell San Diegans, if you really care, like, make a friend with a refugee family and have that be your activism, is getting them integrated into the community.
It is our moral obligation to protect the world we live in, and it all starts with you. Little changes like preventing running faucets, checking for water leaks, opting for low-maintenance plants such as succulents can all make a difference in regards to water. Awareness is key to resolving these issues. Educating the youth about the circumstances of refugees by instilling in them tolerance and compassion, as well as educating them on the importance of water, will ensure a more prosperous world for all. The change lies with each and every one of us, and it all starts by remembering that water is life.